My name is Keziah Holder-Cozart, and I currently do not teach in higher education, but I actually teach on the complete opposite spectrum, early childhood education. I have been teaching at my current school for 3 years and have gone from supporting various classrooms to having my own kindergarten prep classroom and being the coordinator of all curriculum in the entire building. In this role, I'm able to work alongside teachers in my building in order to guide them in successfully implementing curriculum and understanding how different types of curriculum affect different children and different families in alternative ways. Throughout this video, I will be starting and continuing a conversation atop effective communication in a classroom of higher education learners. There can be many uncomfortable conversations had in a classroom full of learners, and students need to feel both respected and heard. Because of that, it is important for us as instructors and leaders to discuss how we can be sure we are setting our students up for success in the classroom. I will also go into detail about 3 specific strategies that can be most helpful in creating an environment that supports effective communication in the classroom. I will also be sure to focus on discussing online forums specifically. The goal of online communications is the same goal as face-to-face communications: to bond, to share information, to be heard, and to be understood. In many online forums, the platform in which classrooms are set have settings and tools to help leaders and educators communicate with their students, but there are other ways to communicate effectively in online classrooms. For most online students, their primary contact with an institution is through the communication with faculty. The first strategy is to implement and foster effective communication on an online classroom to make communication very, very personal. The personalization of communication helps with building connections and healthy relationships with your online students. You can do this by asking some of your students questions like, tell us a bit about yourself. What degree are you working to obtain, and what did you choose that specific degree for? What are some of your favorite hobbies? You can then challenge your students to reply to each other to spark up conversation with one another. The second strategy that I think is helpful would be to foster effective communication would be provide timely feedback. We have all been in classrooms where professors wait until the end of the semester to grade, and we have no idea what's going on because we've had no updates, no check-ins, and no feedback to go on. The icing on the cake for this strategy is to be sure as best you can to keep your gradebook current. The gradebook is a place where students expect to be able to truly track and understand progress. Do not take this away from them. Finally, fostering a healthy and effective communication can be done through a live forum. Once or twice a week, try to host live office hours. In these office hours, students can ask questions and get answers in real time. Anything that allows and helps to create live sessions for students is promising. The biggest thing to try to remember is just trying to host them at various times due to time zones and trying to find the best time for everyone. Now we're going to move on to the challenges of this. There can be so many different challenges when it comes to communication in higher learning settings. The first one is truly that students do not all require the same thing when communicating. Some require more than others, some require nothing, and some require hand-holding. Nevertheless, it's your job as an educator to cater to all of those students. There is a specific social uniqueness to the online communication. Unlike face-to-face communication, each individual has a certain measure of control in the way that they're presented to the rest of the group. In other words, one can select a flattering folder, position oneself in a certain way in front of a camera, and video chatting is available. That is one strategy. Also, because everything is done online, unfortunately, there is room for assumptions and personal feelings. The social agency of online classrooms is the complete opposite of face-to-face, and therefore has caused and can cause issues for the online forum. Like many classes, there will always be conflict, and managing conflict is one of the most difficult things to do for any classroom, any setting, anywhere. However, the skills and tactics to overcome things like these remain the same. It is always helpful to identify the issue and to work to resolve. Oftentimes, people get distracted by anger and frustration or not even focusing on the issues at hand. Be sure to break down the issue and solve that first. Finally, stay objective and don't make anything personal. You or a student may feel uncomfortable when it comes to a situation, or a student may feel uncomfortable when it comes to confronting the issue, because that's the difficult part. Either way, if we focus on the actual problem rather than the actual person, problems get solved much quicker and in a healthier way. Finally, I just want to wrap up this video by talking about how this can support the success of students. Effective communication affects in providing a sense of community in the classroom. Many online students feel a sense of isolation, but with effective communication, we have the opportunity to provide a sense of belonging and understanding. Fostering a sense of community in classrooms will make the learning experience more meaningful for online students and help them feel connected during the life of the course. The feeling of inclusivity and community resides and allows them to feel right at home.